If you're thinking about buying a home in Florida, there are a few things that you'll want to know before you start house hunting. Today, we're breaking down 6 things that can help you prepare, avoiding surprises and make the home buying process a whole lot smoother. I'm sitting here today with Natalie Decker, top real estate agent in Brevard County with Keller Williams. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
And you've been in the business for 7 years now, which is mind-blowing because you're a top producer, if not the current top producer in Brevard County. How did you accomplish that in a short 7 years?
So I started off on a team at Keller Williams, and I was on the team for about a year and a half, and then I decided to become a single agent, and my business just took off. All my business has been referrals. I don't pay for any leads. All my business was word of mouth.
That's incredible.
Fortunate.
So first we're going to be talking about knowing what you can afford and how to get pre-approved. So when someone decides that they're ready to buy a home, what's the first financial step that they should take?
The first step is to get introduced by a local lender to see what they're comfortable with, how much money they have to put down, how much they want their monthly payment to be, because most of my clients that do purchase a home, they're renting, so they don't usually want to have their mortgage more than the rent. And so the first step is to get definitely pre-approved, and I would recommend a local lender.
Yeah. What costs do Florida home buyers often overlook? You had mentioned the monthly mortgage payment.
So once they purchase the property, you mean the fees on top of it? So in the state of Florida, sellers pay the owner's title policy, but the buyer will pay for the appraisal, the inspection, which those are each about $500 each. And there's also closing costs, which is usually 2 to 3% of the contract price, and then plus their down payment, depending on which route they go.
Yeah. So when somebody comes to you and you mentioned all those things, what's something that you think surprises them the most?
So I think most buyers think that they realize they need a down payment, but they don't figure the closing cost. So I always try to tell them you need 2 to 3% out of pocket on top of that, unless we can negotiate that with the seller, which the last few transactions I've done, I have been able to cover majority of the buyer's closing costs because there's so much on the market right now.
So why would you say getting pre-approved before house hunting is such an advantage, and what financial mistakes should buyers avoid?
So I always tell my buyers before we start searching, let's get pre-approved to see if you qualify for the home. Because in the past, I have shown buyers properties and they have fallen in love, and then they can find out they can't afford it. They're not approved for that amount, and then they'll fall in love and they'll be disappointed. They're disappointed with me too if they can't afford it.
That's so painful, and we don't want them getting mad at us.
Correct.
Set them up for success.
Correct.
So let's talk about how to pick the right location for your Florida lifestyle. Before looking at individual houses, what should buyers figure out about where they want to live?
I always tell my clients, I have a lot of buyers coming in for relocating from out of state and they don't know where they want to live, I tell them to drive around and explore the areas. Some buyers love to be in a golf cart community and they want to be able to drive their golf cart to the avenue. Some buyers do not like that. They don't want to be on the roads with golf carts. So I always tell them, explore the area, look at the traffic. Viera West is where a lot of my business is, and the traffic is getting
congested.
A little congested, yeah. So definitely explore the area, see where you want to live, look at the areas, look if you want to be, if it's important for you to be close to shopping or the beach, definitely drive around and then try to determine where you want to live.
Number 3 on my list, I like to call it the needs versus wants section. Before buyers start touring homes, how should they decide what they actually need in a home versus something that they would want?
So when I sit down with them and have a buyer's consultation, if they tell me I have to have a pool, I have to have 3 bedrooms, it would be nice if the backyard was fenced in, but that's something they can add. We will look at those properties, only pool homes, because it's going to cost over $100,000 to add a pool, and it's going to take sometimes 6 to 9 months. So it is very important to find out exactly what you have to have and what you would like to have. There's a difference. Yeah. You can add a fence later, but you cannot. I mean, you can add the pool too, but it's
pricey.
It's costly.
It's pricey for sure. So what are buyers often convinced that they need until they actually start seeing homes in person?
So a lot of my clients are adamant about not having an HOA. So until they explore Brevard County, majority of the homes that I show are in an HOA. It might be quarterly or annually, but a lot of buyers want to do their own thing and they do not want the HOA crawling, down their back. But I feel that if the HOAs are not real strict or they're annually or twice a year, then they're not as tough as the monthly HOAs. Like the 55 and over communities are a little stricter with what you can and can't do.
And it's also nice to have somebody else doing your lawn for you.
Right. No, I have my grass cut. I'm in Tristona West, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, I feel the same way, especially in August in Florida. So which things can easily be changed after buying versus things that you shouldn't compromise on in the beginning?
So definitely if you are adamant about having a concrete block home, I definitely would find a property that's concrete block. You can change the kitchen, the flooring. I have some clients that are adamant about a 3-car garage. Let's just find a 3-car garage. You can change some things inside the home. If it's important to you to have a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 3-car garage, then that's what we'll look for. We can change the interior in the kitchen, landscaping, but if it's important to you to have a block home, I would stick with the block home.
I love that. The aesthetics can always be changed at a minimal cost,
Correct.
but the bones of the house, those are big structural things that can't necessarily be compromised. So let's talk a little bit about understanding your cash to close. A lot of first-time home buyers think down payment, and it's the cash that they have saved that they need. What else should they plan for?
So $500 for an inspection, $500 for an appraisal. If the seller has an existing survey that they can use, that will save you about $300 to $400. But if the seller has made any changes, added a fence or added a pool, that can't be used. And then they'll need between 2% and 3% towards closing cost.
Yeah, it adds up pretty quickly.
Or to buy the rate down.
Very true. That's always something that people don't necessarily have education on, is that you have the ability to buy the rate down.
Right.
So what are other expenses the buyers should keep money set aside for after closing or within 6 months of closing?
So just in case the air conditioner breaks, the hot water heater, I always try to tell my buyers to have at least 6 months in reserves of mortgage payments, just in case a failed septic. I've had a couple of clients where the septic has passed and then 6 months down the road, it's failed. And so they're shelling out $20,000. So just little things like that, major items that are very costly.
So it sounds like just have a safety net for incidentals.
Correct.
Gotcha. All right, let's talk a little bit about assembling your home buying team before you need them, because you had mentioned a lot of people start to go shopping and then they're a little bit heartbroken after the fact. Who should buyers have on their team before they start shopping for a home?
Definitely a local lender. I would definitely get them connected with a local lender to see exactly what they qualify for. If they're going FHA or conventional or VA, definitely start with a local lender to see exactly what you qualify for.
I'm surprised at how many people go shopping before they even start talking to agents. They just go looking and perusing, and they don't have anyone to guide them through the process.
Right. Oh yeah, definitely connect with a real estate agent. I know a lot of clients like to look at open houses before they said, I want to explore the area before. Some buyers think, I don't want you to waste my time. I'm like, you're not wasting my time. Let me guide you. So yes, definitely connect with a local real estate agent, and then they can connect you with a local lender to see exactly what you qualify for.
Love that. So why does communication between the agent and the lender matter so much during a transaction?
So I feel in the past I have worked with lenders that are out of state or working with bigger banks like Chase. They never pick up the phone. Local lender I would recommend also because you get underwriting is local. You're in contact with them daily or weekly.
You run into them at Publix.
Correct. Yes. It's just the communication is so important to stick with a local lender. You just never know what you're going to get when someone's not local.
Yeah. Local is definitely the key in the Brevard County market for sure. So what would you say that buyers should look for when they're choosing their team of professionals, like their real estate agent or their lender or their insurance professional?
Definitely look for someone that's going to hold your hand through the process from start to finish. Make sure somebody is knowledgeable with the area, that answers the phone. You'd be surprised a lot of real estate agents don't answer the phone. Find an agent that is closing homes and that they do work full time, and then they can guide you through the start to finish.
I love that you say people that just answer the phone. I've had experiences where clients have come to us and it was the week before closing and they couldn't get a hold of the people that were supposed to be walking them through this. So just answering the phone speaks
very
volumes.
important.
Very important. So last thing that we're going to talk about is what you should not be doing before closing. We've given lots of tips on all the good things that you should be doing, but let's try and help people in guiding them in what not to do. Once someone decides that they want to buy a house, what financial moves should they avoid?
Don't take any credit cards out. I had a buyer a week before closing open up a Children's Place credit card, and she was not even on the loan.
But I got a coupon or a discount.
It was $1 million home, and it bumped their debt-to-income ratio, and so we extended closing, but the husband was not happy. So don't take any credit. Don't make any large withdrawals. Don't buy a car. Don't apply for a line of credit. Just keep your money saved.
Yeah. Don't move.
Don't move
until
anything.
after closing day.
Yes.
Why can someone open a credit card, finance furniture, or buy a car prior to, and what problems does that create? You had mentioned the DTI.
Right. So that monthly payment might push your debt to income ratio above the threshold, and you may not qualify for the loan.
So does that mean that the lender or whomever's doing the financing has to start from scratch?
No, it just would have to, the file would just have to go back into underwriting, and then it could delay closing.
And what does that do to somebody's contract?
It could the contract could be canceled or it could be extended. And a lot of times, if you're buying a house that your seller may be purchasing, so it could be a domino effect.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people don't think about the domino effect. If they've got a home that's closing up north and they're relocating to Florida,
Correct.
a lot of things need to line up to fall into place.
Right.
Makes
Yeah,
sense.
just don't take any credit out.
So should buyers change jobs when they're trying to purchase a home?
No. Yeah,
Even
that's
if they're going to
another
make more?
Yes, don't change yeah, don't quit your job or don't change your job. I had that happen too.
Have you?
Yes.
Oh my
He
gosh.
was like, I'm making more money. And I said, it doesn't matter. Go back, get it back.
Start over.
Yeah.
What's the biggest please don't do this before closing story or lesson that you have learned in your 7 years of doing real estate?
I did have a buyer co-sign for his mom on a condo. So we ended up closing, but it was a disaster. He co-signed and didn't think it was a big deal.
You're on the hook just as
You're on
much
the
as
hook.
mom is.
Yeah, don't co-sign for anybody.
Gotcha.
Don't buy anything. Hoard your money.
Well, since you are the local expert, we have a fun little game that we do at the end, and it's just quick responses to the questions that I ask. Just
Okay.
first thing that pops in your head. So, ocean or river?
River.
Date night or night out on the town?
Date night.
Favorite local restaurant?
River Rocks.
Awesome. Please forward this podcast to anyone that's looking to make that move and reach out if you have any other questions on buying. Thanks for joining us.